most importantly, be succinct. I said just a moment ago, less is more. And, to be able to put things in a nutshell, like our picture suggests here, can be very powerful for somebody. And so to be able to say things succinctly and to be able to economize words is a very highly developed skill in coaching, and it's very powerful. So to be able to say powerful, important, and things that shift people in just a few words is what we really look for in mastery. So this being succinct and being able to know less is more and to keep things simple and really clear is definitely a learned skill in coaching. And you'll find, a lot of times we feel like we have to say more to be more powerful, but the truth is we have to say less. All right. So I think we're coming into our coaching time, and I've left lots of time here for coaching and for debriefing because you're going to be coaching more today. So what we're going to do here is 15-minute coaching sessions. Okay, so that expands your time a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Okay, everyone. I have you back in the main room, and hopefully you got some good coaching in the past half hour here, just about. All right, so I just want to do a quick debrief here. I'll start out by just first asking, based on the coaching you just did, does anybody have any burning questions you'd like to ask that came up for you during the coaching? Okay. All right, now I want to check in, and I just want to see, for the people who were being coached, and anybody just raise your hand, jump in on this, what was working for you with regards to communication in the coaching? What went well for you? Ava, go ahead.
I think the clarity. In order to be able to respond and to recap and to understand what was going on, I found that Jerry was very clear in his points and what he needed coaching on. So it made it easier for me to respond, and he kept me engaged in what was going on. So I really appreciated the clarity around it.
Terrific. Great. Clarity. Good way to go. Thanks, Ava. And Jerry?
Yeah, well, Ava and I were in the same session, so I can respond in turn. I think what really worked for me was a tone of listening closely and an invitation to tell more. To talk deeper at a particular issue around taking a risk. And I think Ava asked a question about wanting to understand more about that in a way that didn't put me on the defensive. It was an invitation to explore that rather than for me to explain, well, why don't you want to take the risk? So that opened that up and then left me with some real insight kind of coming away from the conversation.
Love this. Love hearing this. So the invitation, and that's great, Jerry, that you're able to see that, how important that is and how it really does open people up. That's great. Who else? What went well with regards to communication for you being coached? Jerry, go ahead.
Well, what worked for me with being coached was just the questioning. One of the things I'm learning is I'm a practicing coach, and it's almost like, part of me does this coaching naturally, that I found that, I kind of do this already, but now as I'm going through learning about this, suddenly I'm becoming very self-aware and trying, it's like trying to learn how to skate and you're very awkward at first or whatever kind of skill. So I'm feeling I'm in a zone of a bit more being cautious and hesitant because I'm trying to get the right phrasing or not to jump in too soon. And what I've recognized as I was being coached, that I was being coached almost, it's not the right term, but aggressively, of really, I experienced being coached where the questions were really digging in quickly, and I wasn't allowed to just kind of wander off in many different tangents, and it just kept me moving to a deeper and deeper understanding, and recognizing as I go into more and more coaching is to not be so safe in my questioning and just to honestly get engaged, and so I really felt that curiosity and that really focusing on this is my space and where I was going. So just taking those risks and not stepping. What I experienced was not a stepping back and just gently guiding things, but just actually really getting in there full with as I was being coached.
Oh, you guys have no idea how excited I get to hear you talking like this. That's fantastic, Jerry. That is great, and you're really getting it. All of you, you're really getting it. This is great. So I just really want to quickly check in to see if anybody worked specifically on being succinct and really economizing words in this as the coach, and how that went for you. Anybody give that a go? Kara, go ahead.
I was with Jerry there as the coach, and I guess I was chuckling when he mentioned aggressively, because I hope it wasn't too aggressive, but I think I was trying to be more succinct in some questions than I often am in the past. I tend to rephrase and reframe maybe 5 times in one question, and I think people lose sight of what the question was. And so I'm hoping that maybe that bit of more aggressive style was actually ending up with being succinct as well.
Oh, this is good. This is really good, Kara. That's great. Jerry, was it, and I'm going to use a distinction here, was it aggressive or assertive? And how did it work for you?
It was assertive, and it worked really well, and I didn't, the funny thing I'm chuckling with is I thought the questioning was succinct. What was even funny was, I don't think the question was half asked, and I was already thinking about my answer, and so I don't even know that I was listening to the second half of some of the questions, because the first half was so good, was good enough that I was already thinking.
Wonderful, great, and I love that. Now we have some evidence here that less is more, Kara. Right? So I'm gonna make a request to you that you go forward this week and really keep moving that forward. Are you ready to take that request?
Absolutely, and I think Jerry's last comment was probably really telling that, yeah, if he was already thinking halfway through the question, probably I could stop right there.
Terrific. Good, excellent. Okay, good. All right, everyone. That's a wrap for this week, and I will hear and see all of you next week, hopefully. And I will send out the homework. You'll have it by tomorrow, and have a wonderful week, everyone.